We're number one.
Jimmy is being a cheap ass. You know, I'm like, damn.
You heard it here first.
Right.
Podcast.
Right. We're the best. You know, they say people that cuss are more honest. So I'm an honest motherfucker. Put the fish away, Reggie.
It don't even hurt to give birth.
Not for me.
Let's do it. Okay, let's do it. Come on. I'm ready. I'm ready. I want to do it.
I wear a thong. I got one on right now. You want to see?
Jimmy and Geek. Madhouse Bar Talks, baby.
That is a bunch of shit, if you ask me. That ain't make no sense.
Good morning. May 4th. May the 4th be with you. No? That's not funny.
It's the 3rd.
No, but it's going to broadcast on the 4th.
Oh, you're right.
It's going out on the 4th. It's not going out today. So we have special guests with us today. Mr. Mike Ogle. You guys might remember him from the story we did last month. He had a pretty traumatic incident that happened in his house over the last 9 months. We just want to answer some questions. We got some questions for you, man. We need some answers.
All right.
The first question everybody wants to know was, did you ever think it, ever?
In the very beginning, like when I first heard the news, I'm like, whatever, you know, but then I've never seen it get played out like that. So after that, then I believed it the whole time.
The whole time. There never was a time where you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. Nothing?
No, because I never thought about it that way. I just, like I said, I mean, once I saw that picture, then I was like, okay, this is...
Oh, the sonogram.
Yeah.
The original sonogram that you showed me.
Yeah, I didn't...
December. That was December. So that wasn't that long ago, right? Really?
I don't...
Yeah, it was December 17th was the date on it.
I didn't even look at the date. Like I said, once I saw that, then I'm like, okay, you know, we're doing it.
There's something in there.
Right. And then after that, I didn't second guess anything.
Yeah. That's crazy to think you're not going to second guess anything. You know what I mean? That's pretty crazy to think you're going to, you know what I mean? That
I was just trying to figure it out. I didn't have time to, like,
figure what out?
how am I going to make it work?
Oh, like having a kid.
Yeah. I was not prepared for that. And I'm like, oh man, it's go time now, you know? So
I don't think anybody's really prepared though.
Correct.
And we all freak out, but men freak out for sure.
Right. And, you know, I'm just trying to, like, I had like a checklist rolling, trying to, you know, get everything ready, going, whatever. So yeah, I didn't really sit there in the back of my mind like, oh, is this actually going to happen? You know, like I made it up like, okay, we're doing this, go, you know?
Yeah, go time, yeah. Never until the end. Well, I know at the end you were definitely like, what the fuck? Why am I not going to doctor's appointments?
Yeah, for sure. And it was like the very end, you know?
Yeah.
Man, it is crazy. Just, you know, because I'm pretty personal. I don't like my business being anywhere or telling, you know, and I brought her to everything. Everyone knew, you know?
Sure.
Like, how could you keep that going? Like, you know, it blows my mind. So.
Oh, the baby shower with your mom there and stuff. Like,
yeah, you know, like
fuck,
she's around my whole family and all this stuff, you know, like it. So no, I never thought like, oh, this is just all just make believe, you know, like that's crazy.
Well, it's hard to believe somebody would even do that anyways.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's the...
Like I said, I could see it for the first month or something, you know. But
well, I think that's what she did the first time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt she was pregnant then either.
Yeah, there's 100 questions I don't have answers for, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like just start a new page, you know.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's got to be a part of you that's like, okay, good, I'm not connected to her.
Oh, absolutely.
But then there's that other part, like your son was on his way.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
That's what I almost get aggravated at myself to get upset about a make believe fairy tale that didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, is really weird.
But does it make you now want a kid now?
I've always wanted a kid, but in due time. Like,
Right, but I mean, now you kind of like, are you still like, now are you like, man, I really do want it. I was ready for it.
I was not ready for it. That's why I was panicking. I was going to make it work, but
So you're good. You're rolling.
yeah.
Yeah. Back to just being the single guy.
Yeah. No kid.
No kid. Yeah. That's, it's a good reset. It's a good scare for sure. I mean, that part of it. I can't imagine like just like your mom, like, have you talked to your mom about it really?
Oh, absolutely. And man, that's what kills me. Like to fake something one thing, but then to say it died and all that crap, like my mom was devastated. I mean, she's bawling for weeks and stuff. So then once it did come out that it was all, whatever, it was like a relief.
That it didn't happen that way. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I guess.
like I said, she was like horrified, and then I don't have answers for you. I don't know what to tell you, so like for her, you know what I mean?
Sure, right. Yeah, you don't have answers for yourself. How are you going to give her answers?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I was like, no, it was, it never happened. Then that was better than losing a child, It's just crazy.
So you're going to take any more randoms back when you can't find the one you want?
No, and I'll tell you what, Kyle's ex or whatever she is, she's got one little thing at the house, and I'm about to burn it. If it's there one more day, it's leaving. There's nothing about to be at that house again.
Never again, huh?
Not for a long time.
Stay the hell out.
Yeah. Yeah, you
can come hang out at the fire.
You got
maybe get in the hot tub. You got to go.
You got about 6 hours to get your crap out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. Holy shit. Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's the whole thing is crazy from the aspect of like, because what you didn't know at the time, what you know now, but like the week from the day that she said that she miscarried, from that point on, me and Amanda started arguing because she was upset about it. We've talked about it. She was upset that it happened. She was upset for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And me and her got in the argument. Then she seen that the sonogram picture was fake. But what blows my mind is that photo that we found out was fake on that Monday, they had already found out back in September or whenever that picture was taken. I think September at Cracker Barrel. They had all knew that was fake already.
Oh, you're talking the one, not the one I had, but the one you saw.
The one that, the original one. And it's like, how could everybody have known that and we didn't know that already? You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of crazy.
I don't even remember seeing the one that you're talking about. I had the strip.
Right, yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, that was what made it real.
And it looked real. It's fucked up, dude. Did you see the one that we ended up getting?
Yeah, it looks identical.
No, but did you see the one that we got instead of Guido's at first?
When you just first pulled it up? I'm not sure.
No, what happened was we ordered one with Guido saying he's pregnant.
Right.
That's the one that's in here that we've got on the magnetic board in there. But we got one first from some dirty ass bitch in, like, I forget where she was from now. I can't even remember where it was at.
Oh, I think you did.
We ended up getting some random chick like trying to pull the same shit, I think.
It's crazy.
I'm like, what in the hell? That just like they sent us the wrong one, and I couldn't believe it. I put it out there, put her picture out there. I'm like, hopefully somebody sees it, catches her.
How much of a common thing does it have to be to screw it up?
Yeah, right. That's the other thing,
man.
And then I tried to reach out to the people that make it. I tried to reach out to them because I want answers. I wanted to get them on the podcast and ask them questions. And there's no way to reach them. They have no way for you to get in touch with them except for by email.
Right.
That's it.
Some turd in his basement just making these things.
Some chick. Yeah, it's a chick is who it is. Yeah, she's just making these bullshit freaking. And it, like, I want to check. I'm going to check in a couple months. Because at the time, it said there was 111 made in the last month, 30 days.
Yeah.
Sold in the last 30 days, which is a lot, obviously. But then, you go, okay, it was April 1st, though. So maybe people were playing April Fool's jokes. Okay, I'll give them that. So I want to see what it looks like in a couple months and see how many they're selling in 30 days. I'm curious.
Right. Yeah, I think it should be like a fake lottery ticket where on the back of it says,
Absolutely, I agree. Legally, yeah, I said that on the podcast. Like it's like fake currency or fake money or anything. Yeah, it should all have it on there for sure. I agree with you 100%. But yeah, so that was the big question was, did you ever know? And a lot of people, I don't think, grasp the concept of how that went down, like when we went on air.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were mad, and I told them, I told them to do it,
A lot of people were mad. They were mad at me all week, though. Bert wanted to beat the shit out of me. Yeah. Bert, you could see the anger in his eye. Desiree showed up trying to convince me I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like this was like 2 days before, or the day before, maybe something like that. And I'm like, but the biggest thing though is that what people don't really grasp is that when that podcast goes out, she's literally in your house texting you to come home and don't be mad at her. Right? Like she's literally living in your house at that moment.
Well, I showed you the last picture. That was the final line of, some more BS. I'm like, yeah, just send it.
Yeah, just do it. Go for it. Yeah. And she's at home. She's there.
Yeah. Well, what no one realizes too is, she said, it didn't, or she lost it, So for 2 weeks, I'm dealing with all that. People are blowing my phone up. By the way, she didn't answer her phone one time, so everyone's just trying to get a hold of me, trying to deal with this, thinking it's, actually happening at the time.
Sure, right.
And now I got to tell 200 people that all this crap, I'm like, dude, I'm not doing it, man.
Podcast was way easier.
Right.
That makes sense. I never thought about that. Yeah, that was way easier than have to make any phone calls.
Absolutely. And man, that's what kills me. Like I told so many people, I was excited, like people I've worked for 10 years that aren't even family knew about this, Now I got to go back and tell everyone like, oh, hey, it was all made up.
Wild. So the morning I meet up with you because I call you. Tex calls me up that morning and says she went and delivered it in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and when you called me, I was pissed. Like I'm,
But you still believe that she delivered a baby in the middle of the night?
Yeah, and I was furious. Like I'm ready to. Obviously, I can't do nothing to her, but I'm like, oh, I was pissed.
So when I call you, that was Tex calls me. I go, I'm calling Mike because everybody kept saying not to tell you anything, say anything to you. They're like, because everybody thought I was wrong. First of all,
right.
And I'm like, I'm calling him. Tex goes, I can't disagree. Go for it. You know what I mean? And I call you up, and then you tell me you have a sonogram or whatever. I'm like, okay, let's see this. Let's see this fake thing. And you pull it out, dude. It scared the shit out of me.
Like I
was
said,
like, holy shit, I am wrong.
That was a selling point for the whole thing.
Yeah, that was the big deal right there. But so when we did that, we looked up online, we found that you could make fake ones or whatever. You still didn't believe me, did you?
I had my doubts. I wanted like 100%.
Right. I felt like you believed me when you called me. When you called me when you were gone, you were gone and you called me. I forget what you told me. You called me to tell me something happened.
Yeah.
I felt like that's when you believed me. I could hear a different tone in your voice.
Yeah, like I said, I was furious when you called, just because, everything.
You were mad at her, right?
Right. And then I had to think about it. I always think, that's when I called you back. I'm like, And I called my brother, too. He knew the whole spiel, that's like my right-hand person. That's who I go for everything.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, so then I called him. And then he did the same thing. He starts dwelling on it and thinking, and by the way, he just had a kid.
Sure, right.
So we're putting pieces of the puzzle together. I'm like, hey, get this. I'm like, Jimmy because he knows you, I'm like, Jimmy thinks this. And then he's like, he calls me back and we start, filling in blank holes and stuff. And that's when I called you then.
Okay. Yeah, because Ben is, when you have a kid, and I've had 4. That's what I said. I've never once looked at a pregnant woman and went, she ain't pregnant.
Yeah, right.
You just know. You see it. They glow. Like there's something, when you've been through it, I'm not saying anything. You've never been through it, so you don't know. Even if you would have had a sister around that had a kid, maybe you would understand more. You know what I mean? But you just never were around it.
Yeah, you're correct. And like I said, my mind was just thinking like, I got to pull this off, like I got to make it happen.
Yeah, right.
Like I didn't, because she had a kid. So I'm like, all right, well, you know what you're doing. You don't let me get my crap together, basically.
Sure, right. Well, I mean, you didn't base her parenting skills on she knew what she was doing, did you?
No, I was going to step in there.
I'm just checking.
No. I was going to intervene on that one.
Ben, I remember when I first bought this bar, like when I first got it, and you and Ben were basically my first two customers that I mean, you two, at the time, Ben lived in your apartment that you have above the garage. And it was you and Ben, and you guys cracked me up. I thought you guys, that's a story we should put on the podcast. That story of you guys returning the refrigerator.
Yeah.
That's something we should talk about. Let's tell that story. That's a great story. That had me dying laughing.
You got to get him here because I don't even tell people the stuff that we did because it sounds fake until he says it, and then then everyone's like, "Oh, really? That happened?" Like if I say it, no one believes me.
I just you guys telling the story where you're like kicking this refrigerator down all these steps through the, and where was this at exactly?
Michigan, right outside of Flint, Michigan.
Okay, so you were drinking the water in Flint?
No, that when we were there, it was I think maybe Canton, Flint, or something. But it was the murder capital of the United States when we were going there. It was like 2013 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was terrible. It was because we went to a trade school up there. That was the whole point of why we were there.
Oh, okay. What was the trade school for?
Power technology, working on like windmills. We didn't do much solar at the time. Like they kind of showed it, but the big one was like power plants, like that turbine that powers everything. You got to service them basically annually, and then you got to shut the whole power plant down and go in there and fix it and da da da.
And you know how to do all that shit?
I did 10 years ago. That's actually
Seems like that'd be a good job.
Oh yeah, they make bank. You travel the world, you're off all summer because no one's going to shut down a power plant in the summertime.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And yeah, you travel the world. It's, I mean, once you know it, it's pretty simple. It's basic maintenance, but it's to a T.
Yeah, you got to be precise.
Yeah, like it's exact. Like you're tying your tools off because if you lose a socket in a turbine, it's not good. You know,
everything's tethered. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the carpenters or the OSHA's trying to make everybody tether everything now. Literally hand tools and everything. Yeah, that's a big thing. Some of the contractors are already doing it.
At a certain height or?
Yeah, but it's probably lower than you think. It's probably like 6 feet.
No kidding.
Yeah, they're starting to do that now.
It slows it down to a crawl, you know, like you can't quickly do
anything. Yeah. No. That's a lot of that stuff that happens in OSHA. That's what happens is it's so, and do you do safety still?
Yeah.
You do? Mm-hmm. You're going to start making everybody tether. Don't make them tether.
No. Absolutely not.
But there are companies out there that are doing it right now. That in Cleveland, there's big companies that are making them tethers. All their tools, like literally, they have tether lines for snips, for
that's crazy
wrenches, for anything that they have in their tool belt, so that they can't fall.
One thing I liked up there was they had like a big tool crib, I guess. Like you got to do this project, you check out the tools for it or whatever.
Sure.
But the toolboxes, everything was foam, and you had an exact spot for everything. So like when you're done with it, you put it back in its little foam holder or whatever. It's pretty cool. Like it organizes everything perfectly.
It was like cut out foam or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, except you got to be, I'm always rearranging stuff, so.
So you got to recut all the foam and everything.
Yeah, well, I never got that far, but I always thought it would be cool. But
so if you were in trade school, what were you doing at this apartment thing? That was just another job you were working while you were doing that or something? Or I don't get what you guys were doing there.
We lived... Because it was the housing, like they'll put you up in an apartment. You got to pay for it, but when you're going to the trade school, a lot of people were out of state, out of town, whatever, going to it. So like, oh, we got an apartment for you. Like they get you kind of set up at the place.
Okay.
And then like I said, they don't pay for it. You got to figure it out. But they got us. My brother found this place online because you could do it through LC, and then he found this. And he's like, dude, check this out. So I went with him to look at it, and by the end of the day, both of us were enrolled. And then they're like, oh, yeah, because we're like, we don't have a freaking trust fund. Like, we need a job if you do this. They're like, yeah, don't worry. We got you. Everything will be fine. We got all kinds of people to line you up with work and whatever. We get up there. We had like just enough money to make it there and do our entry fees and all that. And we're like, okay, we need a job. And they're like, well, start filling out applications. We're like...
holy shit.
What? Like you said you had like designated, like, well, you gotta, just look around, get online and here's a computer. So we started bugging the maintenance guys at this complex. It was 3 different units or 3 different complexes all side by side. I think each of them, there's like 400 units, 600, and I forget the third one, but they're all right there, like in a big group pretty much. So we started just following the maintenance guys around all day. We're like, hey, that's broke. We can fix that. Like, that looks heavy. We can pick that up. And then finally, after like a week of us just bugging the crap out of all of them, because there's like 4 or 5 guys that handle the whole complex. They're like, all right, you two, come with me. And that's how we got a job.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that refrigerator story had me dying. That was like one of the first stories you guys told me, and I just remember like you guys talking about how you just kicked the shit out of this refrigerator down the steps, let it fucking fall, everything. Because what it was, the refrigerator was like you weren't supposed to take it. It was in an empty unit or something, and you took it back to your guys' apartment or something.
Yeah, we wanted it. We found because the units would get empty, and then we knew about them a week or 2 prior before you had to, because we were the guys that had to clean it out and whatever. But it was a game for everyone to go and pull all the good stuff out of the unit.
Pillage it.
Yeah. So we wanted this mini fridge, and we grabbed it, and then some other lady was like, oh no, I claimed it. And I'm like, man, come on. Like, so that's when I was like, okay, I'll return it. And that's when we kicked it down the steps.
And you were kicking it down the steps. And how far did you say you think that was that you guys were kicking it?
Oh, the top steps. It's a lot of steps, 20-some feet or something. Yeah, put a hole in the wall.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. But the best part was you said you kind of like wiped it, polished it before you put it in your car.
Oh, yeah, wiped it all down and got the scuffs off of it. Here you go. Yeah, and then she's like, it doesn't work, man. That's crazy.
That's weird. I don't know. I can't imagine how that would happen. You guys are funny. Yeah, I liked you and Ben being here. You guys were pretty funny together when you guys were here.
Yeah, like I said, he's a blast. Like I said, to try and explain the stuff without him, it's not even fun. I got to get him here to
get going on the stories. Yeah, he was. You two were one because I know you. You guys had like you were aggravated because Dale had a bartender here that I had taken over. She actually died now.
Oh wow. Well, I'm not going to talk crap about her.
Yeah, no, she did. She like I think fell down the steps or something,
Jeez.
And I think in one of Dale's apartments or something, and died.
She was nice. I'll give her that.
She was a sweetheart. She was, but you guys were like, this chick can't remember my drink ever.
Yeah.
Like my drinks will sit here forever.
Back then, I didn't switch. I only drank one thing.
Right.
What are you guys having? Like, dude, we're the only customer in here. Like.
And that was when I first got the place. So I didn't have cameras or nothing. And I remember I went upstairs, and I go upstairs for, I think I did paychecks or something. I was up, it was like Thursday night. I did paychecks. I come back down. When I walked upstairs, she was normal. When I came back down, she was rocked.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was up there a half an hour. How the hell did she do that?
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, I think she used to, like, chug bottles in her spare time.
Had to have, because we were missing a lot of, I think it was cherry vodka.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, Dale had some winners whenever I first took over. We had the one came in and stole from us. Do you remember that one?
From Dale? No. I just remember her. I remember her bawling one day. Like, I don't know what happened, but I'm just sitting there with an empty beer, like, need to get this? Or...
Yeah, what a shame. Where's my beer?
Right. Like, I'll cry with you, but come on, man.
I need a beer to cry first. Who's your favorite bartender of all time? Let's hear it. We know who you're going to say already.
Hannah and Brooke all day.
Oh, Brooke too? I didn't know. I thought it was only Hannah.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah. both of them are tier. They're number one for sure.
Yeah, Hannah. We miss Hannah. I don't know what her deal is, but we miss Hannah being around. Brooke too, but Brooke, she just works too much. She don't want to.
Yeah, that was a lot for her. I mean, she's nonstop, and
she would stay till close, and then she'd sit here, especially back in the Hal days. She would stay and like just bullshit with Hal till she went to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
I left on weekends with the sun coming up before.
Yeah. She was something else. She would just keep going. That's Brooke though. When she starts talking, she don't stop.
Yeah, that's why Hannah beats her, because if she was on a story, I'll be like, hey Brooke, she's like, hang on, I'm like, dude, I've been hanging for like 10 minutes. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Hannah was awesome. You just had to catch her, in her A game.
Oh man, Hannah, when I've seen this place completely packed, just Hannah in here, inside and out, Hannah running around, and I'm thinking, how in the hell can she handle this? And I'll jump down there to try and everybody's got what they need.
You get in her way.
And then I look, and she's over there smoking a cigarette outside. Everybody's got what they need. I'm going, how the hell did she do this?
Right. I remember one day I watched her. It was, there's 2 different parties going on, unannounced, a full bar and a full everything. It was like 60 plus people. Someone, I think she tried to call off that day, and you're like, no, you're going to work. So she come in, hungover, whatever, and
smelled like booze so bad.
Missing the second person. There's supposed to be a server and whatever. She ran for like at least 2 hours nonstop. Like people had to wait, a little bit.
But nothing like
60-some people flying, after she tried to call off. Like, I give her mad props.
Don't give her too much props. She took Adderall that day.
Yeah, I mean, she came in and did it, though.
That's the day that I'm freaking out because I got nobody. They're coming in. I'm freaking out. I call Amanda and I'm like, this bitch just smells like alcohol, like just reeks of alcohol. She's like, I mean, you could tell she's visibly hungover, like badly.
In her sweatpants.
Yeah. And I go, and I'm new to this. I never did anything. Like I smoked weed when I was real young, but I've never done coke. I've never done Adderall. I don't know any of this shit. You know what I mean? And she tells me, relax, I took an Adderall. I get on the phone with Amanda and I go, oh, it's going to be fine. She took an Adderall. And my wife goes, oh, good. Well, then we'll be all right. My dumb ass is like, I'm living in bizarro world right now. Right. Like, I'm like, what the hell does that even mean?
Yeah, it wasn't until this place I knew what any of that was about. Like, I'm the same way. I just, roll up and deal with it.
Yeah, I drank and I smoked. When I was young, I smoked pot a little bit, but it wasn't even that a lot. I never liked it.
Yeah, Hal got me to smoke a couple times and I never cared for it. It's not my cup of tea.
I hit it once for Hal one day. You should have seen him light up, man.
Oh, same here. That's why, that was why I did it,
I was half drunk already and he wanted me, I think it was a weed pen, I think is what it was. He had a weed pen and I was like, give me that, Hal, and I hit it, and man, he lit up. He was pure joy with that one. Yeah, he loved it.
Same here. He looked like a kid on Christmas morning.
Yeah, right.
It was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, he's funny. That I miss Hal a lot.
Right.
He's one of the
I still swear
favorites.
That's why everything ran so smooth, like people wise and whatever, because he would just get everyone high.
That's true. Yeah, he would take everybody out.
Every time, like he would just sit there and hang out, and then as soon as someone started arguing, he'd say, "Hey, come with me, come to the truck." Like you can't fight when you're stoned off your ass.
Yeah, you know how many people would come here just to see Hal?
Yeah.
They were just here to see Hal. That old dude was cool as hell. And it's funny because when you look at his pictures of him when he was like 19, it's hard to believe he could have been. No, we miss Al a lot. That was
I miss that guy every day. What people didn't see, they always saw him drunk and stuff, but we had a lot of hearts of hearts and stuff, just sitting there BSing or whatever. He would wait for me. He couldn't sleep at night. He only slept a couple hours. That's why he was up here all the time.
Right.
Mind racing, whatever. He would wait for me to go to work in the morning. He'd be sitting on his porch smoking, hey, good morning, Mike, have a good day. It's weird that every once in a while I'll be working in the yard and I catch myself like looking up, like
see if he's there.
Yeah, because he would just sit there and watch me, smiling, laughing, making fun of me. You're doing that wrong. You're a dumbass,
Yeah, he was. He would when he moved in over there. I remember him being like, "He's not my fucking dad." He was getting so mad because you're like worried he's gonna fall off the port deck.
Yeah, I was just trying to set him up right, but it was way too much for him for sure.
Yeah, but that's how you should be with any tenant, really. I mean, that's not a bad thing to like make sure that your porch rails are good, and I mean that's what you're supposed to do.
I put up guardrails all over the place, and then he had like I call it like an oh crap handle at the top of the steps. Because he broke a rib falling down the steps.
Yeah.
So I'm like, grab the handle and then take your last step. Because there was a curtain, like there's no door there. It's a goofy setup to get from the steps into the house.
Okay.
So there's a curtain there, basically just for the AC. Otherwise, all your cold air just runs down the steps. So he tried to move that thing one day, stoned and high, and just rolled backwards and rolled down the steps. So then I put it in a bar. I'm like, dude, hold the bar and move the curtain and then step into the house. Thanks, Michael.
The best was the time I took him home. I gave him a ride home. That was when he lived on 8th Street before he moved in over there. That was one of the funniest things I ever seen in my life. So I take him home. He's laughing all the way home. You know how he would just sit and laugh. Mm-hmm. He's laughing all the way home. I drop him off. And anytime I take anybody somewhere, I make sure they get in the house. Maybe they forgot their keys. I mean, you just always do.
Yeah.
So he gets up to the door and he can't get in the door for nothing. I don't know what the hell's going on, what the problem is. And he's looking at me going, "It's okay, go," and he just keeps doing it. The third time he does one of these, he just rolls. He had like a metal railing step, like one of those metal. He flips over the whole thing into the bush and he looks at me and he goes, "I'm okay. I'm okay." He walks around the back. And I think he got in the side doors when I seen him go in. So, I think he had maybe the wrong key or whatever it was. But man, that shit was hilarious. I wish I could have had that on tape. That would have been great. He was one of the funniest guys.
Yeah, I caught him a time or two. He would lean back in that chair, and then he started going over, like falling out of the chair, and I put my hand behind him and caught him and like propped him back up and stuff.
He would go outside, like when it was snowing, he would go outside and he'd clear all the girls' cars off for them and stuff whenever they were closing. So one night he's out there clearing them off or whatever, and I see him in the camera and he falls down right in the middle of the parking lot. He's got the snow shovel and I go out there and it was a snow shovel. I don't know why he had the snow shovel, but I go out there and I'm like, "I got it, Hal, I got it." He goes, "No, I'm all right. I got it. He gets back up. He gets about 4 feet, falls again. And then he's just laughing. That dude was just, that dude could drink like I never seen anybody drink before, and just never pass out. I don't know how. Never puke, never pass out, nothing.
He would just get up and get going again.
I don't know how he did it.
Well, he did it for life, I think, as part of it. But then he was, I think that last divorce that he had, like, rocked him,
Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
No one knew that part. They just thought, oh, he's just at the, but that's why he was there all the time.
Yeah, well, I knew that part because I knew that's what happened was that Brooke told him to come up here because his ex-wife, I think, worked with Brooke.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how they knew him. And then she told him to come up here, and then he would come up for all Brooke's shifts or whatever.
Yeah, and then he had his favorites. So the Hannah, he would stay with, and he hated the girls being by themselves at night, like to walk to the car or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So that was always a big deal. Oh, I'm not leaving them by themselves, So he would hang out.
Yeah, he was. Well, Amanda told him when he was coming to see Brooke. Amanda goes, "You can come see us too without Brooke," and then that was it. He never stopped coming after that. He was always there full time. But we knew that it was all because he was getting ready to he was going through the divorce. We knew that at the time.
That's what people didn't see on the surface, But and then, Ricky Bobby, his stepson, he was in the apartment for a while, and I think he had 3 kids at the time or something. So he got 3 screaming little kids up there.
With Hal?
Yeah. So I'll be like, "Hal, what are you doing?" He's like, "My apartment is too loud." He's just sitting down here watching TV.
Yeah. What's your best memory at Madhouse Bar and Grill?
They all go back with him. Like that era for sure. The best. I don't know. There's a lot of them. Probably the AJ yelling that he can outdrink people, and then I wound up walking in and
Oh, the day I was feeding you guys Jaeger.
yeah, we did a Jaeger off.
Oh my God.
I came up here with a chick to get lunch.
Really?
That's Alyssa. Yeah, her and I came up here just to BS or something, and then yeah, he's AJ's talking smack, and then you said
How many shots did you do? Do you remember?
I think it was 15, but they're all back to back.
I think it's more than 15, I think.
I don't remember. Your brother's got it all on video. Angel,
Yeah.
it's somewhere because he's like, oh, I recorded the whole thing.
I'll have to ask him about it. Yeah, I'll have to ask him to see that one. I think it's more than 15, though.
I don't know.
It was a lot. It was a lot. It was funny because then he just sitting there. He was ready to snore. Night, night.
Yeah, but by the way, no one won that.
No, there was no winner in that one. There's definitely no winner in that one.
But
That
yeah.
was funny though.
That was a good time.
Yeah, that was definitely cool. I remember like when we first opened up the patio, like how that year was probably my favorite.
Man,
the
and it
first
was-
year of the patio.
It was packed too, but like in a good way.
Oh yeah, it was great people. Like that was probably my
It
favorite.
was like 3 deep on the patio, but everyone's just having fun, laughing, having a good time.
The tables were always full out there. Like it was just a good, like that was pre-COVID.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Up until COVID, and then it just changed. Everything changed at COVID, I think.
Yeah, and places go in spurts, like one will be popular, another, and whatever. And I'm hoping it's about time that this place is, the big thing again.
Pops back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does go in circles. It does definitely. It definitely does. What a lot of that has to do with you got to do some upkeep, remodeling, things like that. Something that gets their attention.
Oh, for sure.
I try to do enough, but right now I've been doing more maintenance stuff. Like I just had to replace the freezer, condenser pump, and then I just replaced the hoods in the back, and I just replaced the bar stools again for the 4th time.
Those chairs look good. Those are the best chairs you've had out there.
I was scared to get chairs like that out there because it's outside for one, and those aren't really technically exterior chairs.
Okay.
But I think covered up, I think they'll be fine. I don't think it's going to hurt anything.
Well, they're a lot more solid than anything else you've gotten.
Yeah, and I kind of like the idea of like laying back, those lean back chairs. That's why I kept getting those sling backs. I think that everybody's in a better mood when they're like lean back rather than, on their toes. As kind of was my thought process, but I give up now. I'm like, nope, I'm going, whatever's going to hold up, I'm done.
But I think I told you a long time ago, though, those chairs, I mean, they're set up for the ones you had prior. That's for like a weekend once in a while. Like they're not built to 40 hours a week. Some drunk person leaning back in them. Like they just fall apart too fast.
But those first ones I got lasted 3 years.
Okay. I don't remember.
The first chairs I had lasted 3 years. They were maroon and tan.
Yeah, I don't remember. The last couple fell apart like immediately.
Instantly. It's been horrible. But the ones I had the first time were exactly like the yellow and blue ones I just had.
Okay.
But they just make them different now, and it's falling apart.
Yeah,
and I don't know why.
Everything's cheaper.
Yeah, right. But it's not that far long ago. Jesus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like it was. But things have changed so dramatic. I mean, just. Okay, so when I opened the patio, I put in a beer bottle cooler that I got. It was a big long one that I had, the original one that was there.
Okay.
And I got it at this auction place down here. So I get this thing and it's $15. I win the bid, so I take it. You know what I mean? And it runs, and then it breaks, and I get it fixed, and it breaks, and I get it fixed, and it breaks, and I get it fixed. Finally, I go, you know what? I'm going to go look and see how much they are. Then I'm just disgusted because they were only like $700.
I thought you were going to say they're crazy expensive.
Oh, no, they were only $700. So I bought 3 for out there on the patio. And then they were so good. They kept the beer so cold and like they were nice. I mean, I loved them. So I decided to do the one inside a year later. So when I put those 3 in was like 2020, right at the beginning of 2020. or the beginning of the patio season of 2020, I should say. So I order a year later. I decide to do the one inside, and I rip everything out, change the plumbing around, get it ready so I could set this bottle cooler in. And I go to order the same exact bottle cooler, same everything.
I was gonna say same brand,
same
everything.
brand, everything, same company I ordered it from, everything. $1,900 right. In 1 year. It went from $700 to $1,900. I'm like, what in the actual fuck? And then you go, oh, they're complaining about tariffs. It's like, well, what was that then? I don't understand. Like that. I mean, if things can increase 3 times in a year, then I don't think tariffs are going to play a part in anything.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean, if they're jumping that fast anyhow.
I don't know what the drive is on prices, but they are going crazy high.
I can tell you what it is. I said it in 2020. I told everybody it was what was going to happen in 2020. It's because they spent a shit ton of money.
Well, yeah.
And they have to make up for it. So the only way that you can make up for that is inflation. That's like World War II. At the time, the amount of money they spent on World War II was astronomical. It was like bankrupt type money. Like this was like money you would never even heard of. But with inflation, we look back and go, oh, they only spent whatever it was, 40 million or something like that.
Right.
You're like, that chump change. So now with what they've spent, that's what they need is inflation to incur that cost, because they're not going to have, the 30 trillion we're in debt, you know what I mean, unless they get inflation up and then it just chews away at it.
Yeah.
It just makes it so small.
You might be onto something.
That's a guaranteed fact. Otherwise, why would we ever need inflation? Why wouldn't everything just stay the exact same price all the time? Why wouldn't everything just be, if something's $1 today, why wouldn't it all be like Arizona tea? $1 forever.
Right.
Why would it ever change? Why would wages change? Why would anything change? There's no reason for things to go up in price. What's the reason?
Greed.
Right. There's no reason for it. There really isn't. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, if it's just a way of us, bartering essentially with cash, what's the point of it going up? There's no reason for it to go up unless they're doing something shady with it.
Yeah.
Or hiding something or burying debts or whatever it is. There's no reason for it. That's the only way. It has to go up for people to make money. Otherwise, they would not making money because they're sitting on gold and the gold has to go up, or they're sitting on silver and it has to go. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason things have to go up. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, silly, but
I was going to say, it doesn't seem to work because everything just goes up, like just leave it alone.
right. But the problem is that the experts play their games and get in the right modes, and they get in the right spot where they get their money, and you know what I mean? So the people that know what they're doing put their money over here, everything goes up, but they know that this is the spot that was going to go up the most, or whatever it is, whatever games they play.
Right.
But at any rate, I appreciate you coming in and talking about. I know you don't want to talk about this too much ever.
No.
It's
Like I
not
said,
something you want to let go in your path. Do you know what's going on with her at all now?
Not 100%. I haven't heard a word from her, but through the grapevine, I heard that they're trying to get her back across the pond. But like I said, I don't know if that's fact or fiction, whatever. But I guess it's not going. Like, she doesn't have anything she needs in order to move back, apparently.
Okay.
Like paperwork, everything, I guess.
So you never got no crazy text, no crazy number, called you, nothing?
I was waiting for it the whole time, or just like a show up at the house, like freaking out or something. I never heard a word.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
so you
right.
literally haven't heard from her since the day she came home and said that she delivered a baby in the middle of the night?
Yeah, I left to come up here, and then all that happened, and then that was it.
You never seen her again?
That's a wrap. No text, nothing, which is fine, by the way.
That's the way to do it.
I don't want one.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, you wouldn't want to ever deal with that
Absolutely
again.
not.
I'd be done with it too.
Yeah, which, in all honesty, I hope that, I don't wish bad for her, Like, I just hope, I just don't ever want to deal with her.
Well, that's the problem. You actually do love her. I mean, or have some love for her to some degree.
I don't.
Even though it's falsely built, it existed. That's hard.
People are like, oh, like you want me to beat her up, and like half joking or whatever. It's like, dude, I don't want any harm on her. I just want her to just go away. Like, I don't want to deal with her. But
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I don't know. I hope her well, you know.
You wish her well?
Yeah.
Well, you're a better man than me because I don't.
Yeah, but I wish her well from a very far distance.
Like London. Get back to London.
Yeah, that's a good spot for it.
That's a safe distance, I feel. That's the buffer I'm looking for.
Right. Do good over there.
All right. With that, we're going to head out. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. And we'll have to do this again sometime. We'll have to get Ben in here.
Yeah, that would be a blast.
Yeah, Ben would be fun to get on here, I think. All right. We're out of here. Peace.
Jimmy and Gito straight wild out of Lorraine. Mad laughs in their pockets, insane in the brain. Fake pregnancies on the mic, who got the test? Drop the punchline, leave the crowd impressed. Welcome to the madhouse. Bar talks lit. Two dudes wildin' can't quit this shit. Santa throwing hands up from World Star Show. Jimmy and Gito, the kings of this flow. Shocking camera clips, caught it all in 4K. Santa Claus boxing slave parked off Broadway. Gito's got the jokes. Jimmy's pulling rank. Podcast gold, they the comedy bank. Madhouse dudes, ain't no script in sight. Double shots of laughter served.